Treasury, Mr. Cleaver, who is also the ranking member of the subcommittee.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I love my grandmother, both my maternal and paternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother, I loved spending the night over there because I could make no mistakes and could do nothing wrong. The only problem I had is when she wanted me to go to the store, which is not a bad thing, except that I had to pass by Miss Naz's house. Miss Naz had a Rottweiler. And I explained to my grandmother over and over and over that I was scared of that Rottweiler, whose name was Satan.
Oh.
And so she said, you know, don't worry about the Rottweiler, just don't look him in the face, just walk by. She didn't tell him that because he tried to climb the fence on me every time. And so I learned the lesson that ignoring something won't make it go away and will not make it friendlier. And if it can get out, it will be Satan on this whole planet if we continue to ignore climate change. Ms. Nagy, there's a growing concern about the lack of capacity in the insurance and reinsurance markets and the downstream impact it's having on consumers and property owners, mainly through massive cost spikes, coverage limitations, and exclusion of risk. Even worse, the problem is reaching crisis levels and has begun to raise serious alarm across the entire financial system, with trillions of dollars in uncovered and uncoverable risk. How do we stabilize the situation and prevent massive exposure to taxpayers in the wake of these disasters?
Well, thank you for that question, Congressman. You know, I think at this point, this week as I testify before you, you know, I live in upstate New York, and my neighbors in upstate New York and Vermont are facing the heartbreaking loss of life, devastation of homes, businesses, and beloved local institutions, all from an unusually severe rainstorm. You know, I think we can say that this is no longer an issue that, you know, is a hypothetical. It's here right now. I mean, we all saw this very House building shrouded in wildfire smoke from the devastating Canadian wildfires that burned a greater area than any previous year on record, even before the wildfire season had began. And not to mention that we just went through the hottest June in recorded history. Financial regulators and institutions must manage and mitigate climate financial risks, not simply push the costs off onto consumers. Many lenders and insurers are contributing significantly to the climate crisis by internalizing short-term profits through their investments. And you know, financial regulators really need to monitor these risks and risk management methods to protect consumers, financial institutions, and the financial system. In terms of how we can support localities, I mean, the first thing that we need to do is support hazard mitigation planning, programs, and buyouts where they're desired by the property owners. You know, land use is a very local issue, and there's rare times when federal programs or regimes really, you know, impact things at that level. But you know, given the incentives for local governments to increase property tax revenue, you know, there's always going to be a need to provide better incentives for states to reduce this development. I think also in terms of planning grants, hazard mitigation, and building stronger building codes. You know, one person's unnecessary regulation is another person's lifesaver. And, you know, I mean, I think as we all saw, you know, with the recent implosion of the Titan submersible, you know, regulations do have benefits. They do protect people. And I know where I would rather be in a safer, more resilient building in the case of any emergency.
Thank you very much. Mr. Boer, wouldn't it be better if we were spending a couple of hours dealing with this problem that is real than debating whether or not we ought to do anything and all of the issues that we don't want to pay any more money, we got too many regulations. Would it be better if we spent the time trying to figure out how we deal with this problem that is not going to go away?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the industry's position is we want to make progress, and we have made good progress. I'll give you a little bit of background. When the DOE, early on in the process of promulgating these rules,
Gentleman's time's expired.